Tim.
Yes.
What's your topic?
I want to talk about spoiler culture, and I feel like we've done this before, but with a specific
2017 edition.
specific framework to this. As of the time of recording this on October 10th, 2017.
There's
been
two
very different situations in terms of spoiler or in terms of trailers and spoilers and all that. Star Wars: The Last Jedi theatrical trailer comes out.
Maz Kanata's in it.
And Maz Kanata is not in it.
Spoilers. Who are you?
But the director, Rian Johnson, leading into this, like for the last month or whatever, had in interviews or whatever said, hey, you should avoid this trailer if you don't want to be spoiled. And it was always in a way that was kind of forced out of him, or like that.
See what you did there.
Yeah, exactly. It was for the headline or whatever. And as it kept going, it would progress, and he'd be like, yeah, I mean, if you want to go into the movie,
if you don't want to know anything,
completely blank, don't watch the trailers. And it's like, you can say that about any movie ever, about any experience ever.
Sure.
And then, of course, the day that the trailer drops, he's like, it's out now, everyone go watch it. Forget everything else I said. And it's like, yeah, did he have to do that because it's Disney? I'm 100%, sure, probably.
100%.
But it's like, all right, now, for the first time ever that I've seen, there's an actual rebellion of people.
That's what we do. We rebel.
Maybe they should form an
This
alliance.
scene isn't in the movie.
It's not. It was
It's
weird.
me, Jane Earl.
Good Lord. Of people that are like, I'm not
Nails
going to
it.
watch this trailer.
Nailed it.
Like, I'm not watching this trailer. We're too close to this movie. And
Well, it's because you had
just like,
all
don't
these
don't even
dweebs
fucking
like
put it
Anthony
out there.
Carboni being, oh, it spoils. He didn't say that.
I feel like there's
Some other dweeb did.
I feel like there's a threshold for trailers that you like move. There's only a certain select few movies that you don't need to watch trailers for that you know everyone's gonna go see, right?
But isn't
like Star Wars, you don't need to necessarily watch the trailer, but for a movie like for most other movies,
no, I disagree
you gotta
entirely.
put some spoilers in the trailer.
So you do, and so that's the other side of this conversation here is, so Batman v Superman obviously spoils the entire movie. That's how trailers these days, modern trailers, are made. But with the Star Wars trailer, which for the sake of this conversation, I don't really want to go into the trailer substance because there are people that don't want to be spoiled. And at the end of the day, my one message is, don't fuck with people. It's rule number 3 of the genie thing.
Don't fuck with people.
Be good, and if people don't want to be spoiled, don't spoil them.
spoil it.
But so the Blade Runner situation is the other thing, where one of the main arguments for why people think Blade Runner isn't doing well in the box office is the trailers don't explain shit. All the trailers say is who's in the movie, and it's going to be very stylish and cool.
It's going to look cool as fuck.
And that's it. And that doesn't put butts in seats. So I think that there's just an interesting thing here of, when it comes to trailers, there's a trailer culture where, everyone's going to watch Star Wars. Like, they don't need to put any... There doesn't need to be any trailer. People
could
can
be
watch
a
that
quick
movie.
lightsaber. Everyone's like, yo,
Yeah, cool. It could have been a title.
Tickets are sold out. Done.
Exactly.
100%.
But it's like, I think that there is something to, especially with the Star Wars trailers, there's an art to the trailers where the trailers themselves are events.
Get you hyped.
And
They get you so
they get
fucking
you so
hyped.
hyped, but it's also, there's the conversation around that. There's there's a whole cultural phenomenon based on this trailer, this moment, what happened, right? And I want, where do you guys come down on this in terms of like where people like trailers and spoilers and
Trailers suck. Period. End of it. One of my favorite things, again, high five for the death of theaters, and we're going to go all demand on digital day and data stuff.
Flip-flop on that.
Is the fact of now where it's like I go through, what I love doing is going through the Amazon thing I've talked about. I watch a lot of bad trailers.
Yeah.
But if a movie sounds interesting, read it to Jen. Do you want to watch this? And we jump in and you don't know. I love so much jumping into a movie that's recommended for a friend. Somebody's told it. What was the one I just talked about with lunch? Gerald's
Long Shot?
Gerald's
Game.
Gerald's Game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it was like, Jen's like, this movie's fucking, it's this new Stephen King thing. It's this horror movie. She's chained to a bed, and like, that's all I knew. I was like, all right, fuck it. And I started and I was like, oh, it's that girl from Entourage. I know she's been in a million things, but I think of her from Entourage.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the guy who was
It's Captain Pike.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You're helping me out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
Greenwood.
oh fuck, I like these people, and I would have been more inclined if I saw the box. I would have been like even more excited. But I knew the idea was cool, and this is cool. Why not jump in? And like same thing with the movie you didn't want to go see, Raw. When I went and saw Raw one day, where I was like,
Right.
I was sitting, Jen was still, and I were still long distance. It was some Friday or whatever, and I was just like, fuck, I want to go to Alamo Draft House and get a beer and some popcorn and watch a movie. And it was Raw was playing, and the thing was there, and it's like, oh, it's this horror movie about, or it's this, thriller or whatever about kind of like a zombie thing, but it's not really. And that's not what it said, obviously, but it's similar to that. And I was like, all right, that sounds cool. And I went there, and the movie started, and I was like, oh, this is not in English.
This is subtitles.
This is subtitle. I'm like, this is rad. And like, I left that movie like, all right, cool. That was awesome. And even with I guess not with it, because this is one of the problems, right? Is then the movie we all went and saw after Emily was away too, and we didn't like.
Fuck.
It Comes at Night.
Yeah, It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night, where we had already seen a trailer for it, and that gave me this big preconception of what that movie was going to be. And then that movie ended, and we were all like, "That movie fucking sucked."
It's funny. I didn't see a trailer for that movie, and I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
To an extent, because trailers I think are important on selling people on movies. Period. We understand all that shit, but everything you're talking about, you're not talking about the superhero movies. You're not talking about the Star Wars and these blockbusters. You're talking about these things that are the word of mouth. To me, that's the Gone Girl. I watched Gone Girl without ever seeing a trailer for it. Blade Runner, I feel like, acts and looks like a blockbuster, but isn't. And it is one of those word of mouth movies where people need to talk about how good it is to get other people that are like, oh, you know what, I should check this out. And I feel like with what you're talking about with that one movie we did see, It Comes at Night, I ended up not really liking that movie. A lot of people did, and it's the reason I watched it. And next time there's another movie like that where everyone's like, oh, like there's a lot of buzz around it, like positive buzz. We're going to go watch it because that's the culture that we're in, right? But it's like when it comes to trailers for Justice League and for all that stuff, like, they need to happen. But how would we want them to happen? Because I think the Star Wars trailer is a great example of them being aware of trying not to spoil.
First off, I think trailers these days there's too many of them, and they're too fucking long. You don't need them to be that long, and you don't need 13 trailers for a movie that comes out in a month. Like, there's TV spots now, there's 30-second spots, there's 15-second spots, there's all these things. And you're talking like, for a video game, it's okay, because there's like a 60-hour experience that no matter what, it might be different for you than me because we're playing it differently, right? Depending on the game. For a movie, you only have 2 hours really to pull from. So if you're showing 10 to 15 minutes of it, that's a pretty sizable spread out. You're showing the entire movie at this point, right? I mean, maybe I'm looking through rose-colored glasses on this, but I remember when I was growing up that they would narrate the trailers, and the narration would just kind of give you like this summer takes on a building, and it'd be like, cool.
Whoa, I want to see that.
You're like, okay, cool, I get it. There's a dude stuck in a building, and there's terrorists. Got it.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think, and I don't know that this is even feasible in Hollywood's current structure, but and it wasn't even intended at the time, but the original Spider-Man movie. If you guys remember the
Tobey
first
Maguire?
trailer, yes, the first trailer for that,
it's Twin Towers trailer.
Yeah,
The teaser,
it was
the
where
teaser,
it was a bank robbery. He stopped, and then he webbed up the helicopter between the Twin Towers, and they ended up pulling that because 9/11 happened. Well, I think that 9/11 aside and all that was the perfect type of trailer where it's something that sets the tone for the movie, shows you what it's going to be.
Blade Runner,
but there's nothing in there.
Blade Runner just did it with the shorts. Instead of having theatrical trailer 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Thank you, John.
Yeah,
they went and they made stuff. Did you see the shorts going in Blade Runner?
I did. I haven't seen Blade Runner yet, but I saw those.
That's right.
But the problem with that is those are all like 6 minutes a piece. You can't really make it a trailer. So if they cut
these
it
days
down,
trailers are 3 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Here's my thing is I think like let's take Star Wars, right? Now granted, and I don't remember it well, but I remember Force Awakens, right? And I mean maybe it's always weird when we talk about a movie after we talk about DC all the time, right? And like Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, we did so many rewind or whatever we called them for GameSpot. What were they?
Things you missed.
Things you missed, where I would like literally tell you exactly how all this lines up. I fucking nailed. I knocked Suicide Squad out of the park.
You did not at all.
Suicide Squad.
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 Yes.
Batman v Superman.
You're right.
Batman v Superman. I got the main plot points right, but I gave Zack Snyder way too much credit. Where I'm like, and this is gonna be the Joker, and this is gonna be that thing. Well, and the Jason Todd. Yeah. Okay. But overall, I got where we were going with it. I digress. Maybe I'm wrong and you guys watched Force Awakens and felt like that gave it away. I thought like I watched Force Awakens, had a lot of questions and didn't know. I went in and I knew big points, right? But they still had me grinning ear from ear when like, that ship's garbage. The garbage will do. Like, I didn't know that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think, well, they were, I think, a little bit more delicate about Force Awakens than they're being now. But Force
Really?
Awakens,
I mean, do you
they're
feel
more
like
delicate now than Force Awakens.
Really?
I feel like the trailer, like I saw everybody last night, maybe it was IGN people. It was some dweebs like Anthony Carboni, but not Anthony Carboni, the dweeb, saying like, oh man, don't watch this. It's really spoilery. And I watched it and then it was people arguing amongst themselves. Just like, is it that spoiler? Because it feels like they're just cutting dialogue out of context.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's
definitely.
what a trailer
That
is. And
wasn't
like,
spoilers
I
to me at
watched
all.
it and Jen was like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing. And I was like, but what don't you exactly understand? Like, I was like, I don't understand where Maz Kanat is.
So I guess that's
where
my
Watto
entire
is.
topic.
Where the dude with Jar Jar,
Metachlorian.
he's still alive.
The entire topic to me is that conversation because it's like I saw someone on Facebook say, is knowing that Luke trained in Empire Strikes Back a spoiler? Like if that scene of him waving a lightsaber around on Dagobah, is that a spoiler? And it's like everything is a spoiler if there's context to it, and everything
in the trailer is a spoiler.
A poster is a spoiler
because you're gonna ruin it.
What outfit they're wearing? Like,
but the trailer is in and of itself. You're sacrificing a little bit of spoiler so that you can get people hyped for your movie. That's what a trailer has
100%.
always been that way, and they've just been putting more and more into it. The question becomes like, how much is too much? And that boils down to an individual level. I purposely stopped watching trailers for Blade Runner after the first one. I was like, I'll watch the shorts because they back up into it, but I think they released one or two more, at least a teaser or another trailer. I didn't watch them because I'm like, I'm good. I want to go into this. I'm already hyped for it. In fact, I probably shouldn't have watched the first one, but I'm glad I did because it got me even more hyped for it. With Force Awakens, they needed to have a trailer, and it needed to be that trailer, the one that came out with the Chewie "We're home" line, because it needed to tell every single person, we're coming, we're back. This is okay. It's in good hands.
I still feel like, I mean, bringing Blade Runner into the Star Wars conversations is the biggest fucking apple in the world versus an orange.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're the same. I feel like the Star Wars trailer for, what is it, Last Jedi, right? Mm-hmm. That's what it's called. It could have been what I always wanted the GTA 5 trailer to be.
Yep.
Where it could have just, I always thought GTA 5's logo should have been the GTA logo fading up, and it was 45 seconds, and then it's like, it is audio and stuff exploding and like noise behind. It could have been the same thing here where it's just like, the fucking logo rolls things up, and then it was just like, pff, like, you know, Kylo Ren's fucking lightsaber starting, and I don't know,
my
Chewie over there.
I just the restraint,
porgies or whatever the fuck they are.
Porgies. The restraint that Disney has shown with Episode 8 has been very impressive to me, because we are 2 months away from this movie releasing. We've only gotten one trailer before this, and now this one.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is mind blowing based on how little footage is out there of Last Jedi, and we're gonna get a whole bunch of 30-second spots.
I'm sure we will.
People can.
But
link
remember,
together.
also they were
with Force Awakens. I did the same thing you did with Suicide Squad, which is piecing together the whole thing, and it was so easy with the amount of footage they put out to be like, all this shit's going down, to the extent of Han Solo's gonna fucking die because you can see the jacket. And again, I'm doing the screen by screen breakdown.
Yeah.
With the amount of shit out right now for Last Jedi, you can't do that. People don't know what's happening in Last Jedi.
Yeah, and I kind of think spoiler changes from person to person. Right. So like with this, you know, you may see something in there and you're just like, oh, that's a perfect trailer. But somebody else sees it and they're like, oh, this person's in it, or that person's not in the trailer, so maybe they're not even in the movie. That's a spoiler. Or like Thor Ragnarok.
Hell yeah.
Coming out. The trailers make that movie look awesome. But somebody could look at that and go, wait, the Hulk's in that?
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
and it is.
Yeah, well, no, but again,
it kind of is. But at the same time, it's been a talked about thing where that was a concept.
Right.
So unless you're completely out of the know about everything, that shouldn't be a spoiler.
And I do wish, to an extent, and I'm not going to just do the whole it sucks that my job's so great and I get to talk about this shit all the time. Even if I was a general consumer working at the newspaper again, I'd wish to be able to go on true blackout. But I feel like, I'm going to run into the fact that Hulk's in Thor or something to that extent.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a perfect example is Blade Runner, right? Like, how much. I wonder how crazier that movie would have been if they had not told you like Deckard's character was in it, right? Because I mean, you don't. Like, I think they could have sold a movie without doing that. They chose, of course, they're like, we got Harrison Ford. He's Harrison Ford.
Like, we got to
fucking tell people that he's in this movie,
some
right?
people on this.
I always bring it back to a movie called The Island, right? Which was a movie with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, and it was a fucking awesome concept. But the twist was in the trailer, and it would have been such a fucking great. The twist was the trailer starts with a bunch of people stuck on this island, right?
Sure.
And they're told that they're like the last few people like on Earth or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but for whatever reason, they're like, we can't get off this island because we're in this like enclosed habitat, right? Then they discover that they are clones of real people who are grown for organ harvesting.
Well, there's the lottery system, and whoever wins the lottery gets to go to the island.
Well, they get off the island or whatever, right?
No, they go to the
island.
island.
Go to the island, right?
The island is the reward.
Right, but the island in reality is death because the lottery, system is you've won the lottery because guess what?
I need your heart.
Greg Miller needs a heart.
He does.
And so you're going to get fucking killed, right?
Yeah,
and so they discover this, but they showed that in the first and like the second teaser because I guess people like weren't getting hyped
not caring enough about it.
And I'm like, oh, what a fucking letdown! Because that happens like halfway through the movie. And you're like, oh, this is where is this going? Right, I remember.
I think we've talked about this on the show before, so I'll keep it brief. But it's the same thing I didn't realize being... Me and my friends were so into Terminator. you know what I mean, growing up. That was such a cool action film. And when Terminator 2 was coming up, we had all the magazines, we had all the toys.
Fucking
We'd
awesome.
drive around, we'd roll around Amboy, Illinois on our fucking bikes playing Terminator. And it was the thing that it wasn't until, whatever, 2 years ago, some anniversary of Terminator 2, where I was reading an Empire article about how this is the biggest spoiler fuck up, or not even fuck up, but of all time. And the fact that if you watch Terminator 2 and act like you know nothing,
If you've never seen Terminator before,
you've seen like the movie is shot and edited and filmed in a way that you don't know Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator is a good guy until he saves John Connor and takes all the shots in the back.
With the roses.
And like all the promotional stuff leading up to, and the real lead up to the movie was Schwarzenegger's here and he's the good Terminator this time. The cop Terminator's bad. Like they told you all of that going in, so that when you get there, it's cool, but you don't understand that. And to take a second is what a big Terminator fans we were. If we just knew another Terminator was coming,
You know what's
and we
fucking
went there,
awesome?
what?
Gia has never seen Terminator. Any of
She's
them.
gonna love it.
She saw Blade Runner, totally fucking sold now. She's
wow,
never
really?
seen Matrix, never seen Terminator. And so
what a
she's
great
now
world.
after 2049, she's like, I'm in. Once
You got
she
it.
fucking
Show
got
Terminator
hissed.
1 and 2, yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
I'm like, oh, we're gonna watch Terminator, and she doesn't fucking know. And I'm
That's
trying
fucking
to figure out a way to
brilliant.
film the reaction to
Don't
that.
tell
Well, because here's the thing is, and we talked about this in the show too, so I'll keep it brief, but you've already blown the greatest reaction of all time from Gia.
Oh, Christ.
And the
Oh.
fact that when she watched Batman Begins and the Waynes get shot, she gasped.
died.
And she goes, their parents die? And you're like, how the fuck do you not know Batman's
this?
story?
What's funny though is then I'll be like, you know that Spider-Man got like Peter Parker got bit by a spider. Like, oh, of course I fucking know that. And I'm like, no.
I want you to
You've lost
I legitimately
all
want you to sit her down and record the reaction. Be like, who is Luke Skywalker's father?
Well, yeah,
and just see if she knows that one.
She knows that. But what I'm saying is like once you get into this sci-fi stuff, that's just not something she grew up with. So yeah,
of course
Terminator,
not.
at all.
Oh,
so
God.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Terminator 1 and 2 with her and Matrix 1.
Terminator
Stop
2
there.
is so fucking good.
Yeah.
So good. Still holds up.
Does she know that Solid Snake is actually the bad clone? Like they thought he was the good clone, but the Liquid thought he was the bad clone.
Something tells me she doesn't know
No,
that
man. Play about 40 hours of that. Let her get in there.
Something tells me nobody really knows that one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it boils down to if you don't want shit spoiled, it's really not that hard to not have something spoiled for you, right?
No, it's impossible now. If you're on the internet, you're getting spoiled.
No, I mean, if
You
you're,
cannot
but
watch
you're,
the Star
but
Wars
you're
trailer.
choosing to, right? Like there's
Animated gifs out the ass.
Exactly.
You're going to see it.
You're fucked, man. You can't be in a
Potentially.
Facebook group. You can't be on Twitter. It's like it's avoiding spoilers for Game of Thrones. You can get away with. Stay off the internet for the 4 or 5 hours till
Sure.
you watch the episode.
Sure.
You can't last a week.
Oh
It's
no, but
impossible.
that's your fucking that's your bad then at that point. I mean, that's the game we've talked about this a lot. Where we need to decide. I don't know if we ever did, but we need to have an official decision of how long you have to wait before you get to spoil shit. It's okay to spoil shit from Game of Thrones.
But I mean, what? But that
Is a week
conversation,
too
though,
long?
What about
Is
the
it a
trailer
day?
though? Like,
What's that?
When's it going to be okay to openly talk about spoilers from the Star Wars trailer that just came out?
I mean, look, if you can talking about it is the second the trailer comes out. Because at that point the information's out there. It's not your fucking bad, right? I mean, you can't be like, oh no, I don't want to know anything about that trailer. That's a bridge too far. But the people that put the shit in the trailer, they're the ones that need to talk to Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? Like they need to be like, you're spoiling these fucking movies for people, right? I mean, put it in context. Imagine if the Empire Strikes Back trailer showed that spot where it was like at the very end, it's like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and it's like Luke,
Father
I'm
and
your
son.
father, and it's like, oh wow, that's cool. Okay, I guess that's out there. Like that's what we're getting these days. So it's like, pull back a little bit, people. Pull
Doomsday,
back.
man. Shouldn't have been in the trailer.
Should not have been
Agreed.
the fucking trailer or the movie. For that, someone said.
Arguments could be made.
Some would say he shouldn't have been in the movie at all. Could have probably had his own movie, you know, where it's just him and Superman.
well, yeah.
There's
You know?
also an
Death of
inconsideration
Superman.
of people as well, though, when it comes to spoilers. Because if I say I haven't seen a movie, like I haven't seen Blade Runner yet, and you guys haven't gone, oh, well, this happens, this happens,
Sure.
this happens. And if it's a slightly older movie, like a movie from last year, I would hope you guys wouldn't do that as well if I said that happened. Maybe go, oh,
If you
well,
told
this is
me
good
I
and
have
good.
not seen this movie, I would not spoil. That's a dick thing to do to spoil it for the person.
Exactly.
Now I did
And-
that to you today, but I asked your question.
Yeah, and I was
It was a
riveted by it.
documentary.
Yeah, and I drank my entire soda while I listened to you, and I enjoyed it. And now I feel like I don't have to watch
Long
it.
shot.
It's all contextual.
Long shot on
Yeah,
Netflix.
Like if you're Blade Runner, it's like
Gerald's Game on Netflix.
there's not only a chance you are gonna watch Blade Runner,
Right.
But when it comes to a lot of these other movies, like you're not like me spoiling
If
Blade
you-
Runner to Greg, he's not gonna fucking watch it.
Here's
So
the
it
deal.
doesn't matter.
If
Thank you.
if you
I
said
have
I haven't
taste.
seen The Matrix, right?
You're a monster. Greg.
Like I'm still not going to tell you what happens in The Matrix, but I am going to encourage you to go watch The Matrix, right?
Yeah.
But if we're just talking about The Matrix,
well, and I would hope
I
you call
hate
me
the
a
fucking
dumbass.
person who's like, spoilers, I haven't seen that. I'm like, dude, I'm not the fucking keeper of all the movies. I'm the keeper of a lot of things, but I'm not the keeper.
5 things, I think.
5
right?
to 17 things at this point.
Okay,
right?
so wow,
Keep up with the
sorry.
joke.
Yeah, you missed a spoiler.
But I'm
he
not the
had so
keeper of
many
the shit that
empty.
you have or have not seen. I like to leave room for other things that I can be the keeper of, right? I'm the keeper of spoilers. That's number 4.
Okay. Just to put it in context for you, Tim, again, I will never see Blade Runner 1 or 2, but I'm seeing Daddy's Home 2 in theaters. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy show each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table. Horrible. The worst you've ever done. You were way early and still late.
I gave you all I've got left. That's it.
If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can toss us a couple bucks, get the shows early, get all the bonuses, get to come on the show like Justin did. Thank you so much for coming in. Did you have fun? Was it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I was worried about it. I know we were very quiet this morning. We were gathering the news. We were locked out together for a little bit. Things happened, but it was all good.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. If you got no bucks to toss away, of course, go to youtube.com/kindafunny where you get the show topic by topic day by day until it goes up as one big MP3 and video the following Friday. Pimp the whiskey one more time.
Scarwhiskey.com.
Okay. Yep. When do you think you will have product available for people to buy and us to get drunk on?
In the U.S., it depends. We're hoping sometime middle of next year.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
For an actual aged whiskey, it takes 2 years' time.
Of course.
age it.
Do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me again.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been our pleasure to serve you.